Good morning. Welcome to the Carmiece Graves Radio Show, and I'm Attorney CPA Carmiece T. Graves. I got the bike. I'm in the building. It's going down. It's February. Welcome to February. We're making it. It's been humble. It's been nice on us so far. The first few days we've enjoyed warmer temperatures. Thank goodness for that. But today is the first Tuesday that I get to celebrate and show homage to our ancestry in Black History Month. It's also the month of love, and we are always going to have a holistic approach to everything that we learn and do here on the Carmiece Graves Radio Show. Let me introduce myself if you don't know me. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening live on Facebook, sharing the video. I am a CPA and an attorney practicing family law, estate planning, bankruptcy, and tax in the D.C. and Maryland area. And the purpose of my show is just to share some tips, anything that I can help our community learn from, that we can grow together, give you information knowing when you need to get a consultation, how to legal, spot issues, and get the support you need. So this is what's on my mind. You guys know me. You guys have been listening. Thanks so much. You guys are calling in. My listenership is actually tuning in and taking advice, knowing what services are available. But here's what I was thinking about. So we are dealing with, we're celebrating our ancestry lineage that has brought us here. A couple concepts, because I just came back from Panama, so that's still deep in my being. And every time I go to another location where I see Africans there, it really solidifies what has really happened, really in my DNA, really in my understanding that this slave trade really happened. A whole bunch of people thought it was a great idea to go get these great superior physical species, specimens of humans that were strong and that were brilliant to go and build the world. Wherever a building needed to happen, wherever a building needed to be done, we popped up. And one of those places here is in America. So congratulations to all of us who are African Americans here. We represent the lineage of the greats who endured some real intense situations here in the United States. So to me, the way I see it is, one way that we really have to appreciate what our ancestors have done for us, the sacrifices that they have made, the decision to continue, is to really do well, is to really pay it forward, is to understand where we are right now, how free we are right now, not be subjected to old conditioning from before, and start to really get some momentum to wealth building. And sometimes the first step in that is clearing debt. There's this conversation out there that I want to get more involved with about the income versus wealth disparities. I've heard it all the time, and as an accountant, it really intrigued me. I haven't read a lot of papers on it. I'm going to do more studying about it. But what lands on me about that, just even the terminology, I'll just give you the financial view of that statement. And the issue being that African Americans don't have as much wealth as people in the same, wage class, their counterparts. And when you do the demographics of blacks against others, we don't have as much wealth, and there's a wealth gap. What's going on with the wealth gap? The wealth gap. And I wonder, the only thing that I feel that my understanding of it right now, and I want to learn more about it, is this concept of what is the difference between wealth and income. And as an accountant, they're worlds apart. They're worlds apart. They're not the same thing at all. And one of the things that's interesting is that if you look at the income gap, sometimes that disparity, when you do the classes, white men against black men and, blacks against whites, you're not going to see that big of a shift. But when you go to looking at overall wealth, then obviously there's where the skewing starts to happen. And in the process of turning income or money that you acquire into wealth is a whole mindset behind that. And it's always going to come back to mindset. It's a mindset thing. When you get your money, what you emotionally going to do with it? What is your attitude towards it? How are you going to expend it? Are you going to spend it? You know what I mean? And we, have to kind of know where we are in the progression of what we have gone through to maybe get a broader look at some attitudes that, we may have inherited, and know that I know fundamentally to acquire more wealth, you're going to have a different attitude towards putting values on assets. You know, the idea of accumulating wealth is investing and accumulating assets, real assets, and the other side is minimizing your debt. So, I mean, to have wealth, means that your assets, in general, your assets are more valuable than your debt. So debt reduction and debt management, that's an approach to wealth. And also, you know, preserving and keeping property is going to be a key one, because I see a lot of it as I've been around doing estate planning in the Washington, D.C. area, a lot of decisions to get rid of property because the market spiked. And, you know, one of the things that I think we're going to be challenged to do, and I'm challenged to do it, you know, everything that I say, we're kind of in this together, growing and, increasing our capacities, becoming more sophisticated as we get used to having some money and have had some, and really inspired to keep some. You done went shopping, you done did your thing, okay, we got it out of our systems, okay, let's move on now. Okay, good. Let's get into the next stage, and people are trying to do it with, you know, trying to do and flip properties. Sometimes that's a reason that has people have to consider if the project didn't go well, maybe there's some debt restructuring that can happen. That would be, you know, a situation where if that project is not working, you do want to pick up the phone and call me to see if there's something that we can help you arrange, whether it be discharging the debt or coming up with another strategy to restructure and give yourself some relief. So key things. So it's going to be a mindset. So in this conversation, dealing with wealth, a part of it is putting value on assets that add to your asset base. Minimizing your debts, controlling your debts, keeping your overhead low, making sure your credit card bills aren't too high. We just went through the furlough and found that 2 paychecks was shaky. So, you know, really having the cash reserves, really investing in keeping property in the family so that your family starts off. That's another key factor in this disparity, that people are starting off with more. We talked a lot about that on this show, about estate planning, and I get the gravity of it. You think, oh, I thought about this coming over for y'all. So, because I know how it is, because I think, oh gosh, you know, to sit down to write a will makes it sound like you're like, I'm writing my death sentence and I'm dead now. You know, it feels like you're going against yourself, like you're affirming death. But well, here's a twist on it that you could play with. Now, I can see how this could have unintended consequences. This is not legal advice. You are not going to hold me accountable for this. This is just my personal thing, all right? You cannot rely on this. This is my video for evidence. So, I was thinking you could kind of speak into a bigger future. So, I mean, estate planning wants to consider the assets you have now, but there's nothing about it that says you can't kind of speak into assets you may acquire in the future. You know what I mean? For any money I have after you do this, give it to this charity and that charity. An estate plan can say that. You know, maybe you make it a bigger story. Maybe you think of, yeah, when I come out of here, I had some stuff. I'm done with it. Y'all can have that. You know, I really acquired some real assets, and real property doesn't die. It's not a disposable good. So you can't just dispose of it. You know, just because you are passing on, it's like, I'm still here. What you gonna do with me? And that's a key part of this wealth thing that I know it's gonna come up as we explore this topic more. It's gonna come up and we have to start to shift our thinking about assets and thinking about keeping them and having a longer vision. Here's another thing I do, Black History Month, always try and, delve in and learn something about, a historical icon that I did not know about before. I give myself a little reading assignment, but now it's on like Netflix and there's documentaries, so it's not that hard to do that. Audio books, you got to read no more, just listen. So, but I looked into Maya Angelou's story, Nina Simone's story. It was really good, and it was great and inspiring. So now I done got off track talking about Nina Simone and them. What are they talking about? It happens to the best of us. But anyway, changing attitudes, acquiring wealth, those are the things we have to look into, knowing about that disparity. So knowing that we really have to change our attitude in how we approach our money. That's going to be key. So when it comes down to Black History Month, Another thing I wanted, wait. Yeah, so I told you about speaking into the future. I'm going to make sure I get all my tips in. Because Nina Simone, let me tell you, her story just took me. When I looked at her documentary, I was just really, enthralled in her story and just some of the things she struggled with. And she was a key story in your mindset. Because Nina Simone was mad for a long time. I think she had some domestic violence issues. And that's another topic for February. We're getting right into Self-Love Month. Anything, one of the things you're going to have to always do is give yourself sometimes you got to let go. Just love it, let it go. I mean, people have a lot of attachments to, life happenings. Something happened, your business venture didn't go right, your marriage didn't go right, so you went through a divorce, or your body didn't go right, so you got sick, and somehow all these things become a reason for you to beat up on yourself, to have shame, guilt, and this negativity you point towards yourself. That is not the way to go. And one of the things I want you to do is at least have enough compassion for yourself to get a legal professional like me to tell you whether there's some options that can offer you relief. It's always about relief. Sometimes to build, we have to demolish, we have to clear, we get the fresh start. Have enough compassion. Love, y'all want to have a good Valentine's Day, want to have great, relationships and marriages that last for 40 and 50 years. It starts with self-love. It starts with being nice to oneself. It starts with being able to relieve your own suffering. Nobody is charged to do that but you. And you don't need to sit with it. You have a lot invested in the numbers and the papers and the responsibility. I know everybody knows you wanted to do well. You wanted to. You really did. And if it didn't work, can you just tap out? You tap out. It's okay. It's okay. You can play again. Then you put another quarter in and you can get another go at it. I need you to have a little bit more space between being attached to a financial responsibility or a situation that isn't working. Take the path of least resistance, let it go, figure out the best way out of it, pick up the phone, have enough compassion to say, let me get some relief going. Don't just stay stuck. That don't feel good. Don't stay stuck. People calling you, harassing you, then you going crazy, breaking down, you know what I mean? No, we don't want that. I don't want you to suffer. So in any way that you need relief, holler at me. So your loved one died and you don't know what to do and you got property and you got to take care of it. You pick up the phone, you call me. Your creditors, you didn't got a garnishment, they done messed up your plan, you was getting the momentum going, and then judgment came from Lord knows where, and it's a big deal. You pick up the phone, you call. That's an act of self-love. It's the act of self-love. And if you want to have all the other abundant things that come from love, you have to start with you. And I got to say, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break, child. We just be on ourselves. And I wonder where we might have gotten that from. Just beat you. I wonder where we might have gotten that idea that it's just good to just pounce on us. Wonder who might have taught us that. I think it's time to abandon that. Have some compassion. Think about the path that can grant you some relief in any situation you're in. That's the path to always take, the one of relief. You can't get to peace through war. It don't work. So anyway, we're going to keep talking about good tips from the Carmiece Graves radio show. Oh, and next month in March, one of the things I know that's a big issue is my solo practitioners out there and these taxes. So I'm going to put together a seminar and a workshop about that to give you more information. This is particularly focused on the business owner that is out there dealing with the IRS, because I don't want to see you in bankruptcy. Let's be proactive. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk to the experts in that area who are the masters in the game in terms of getting your taxes together to deal with the IRS as you are an LLC. Thank you so much. Okay, we're just going to take a little break. We're going to get some updates on the weather. It's kind of nice outside and traffic. Stay tuned to the Carmiece Graves radio show. Thanks so much. Hey, Facebook world. How you doing?
Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450.
Whew. I just got to exhale. Getting all the way from southeast to northwest over here downtown Silver Spring be a lot. That's a lot of commuting that I usually don't do. But I'm grateful I'm here. It's Black History Month, and honestly, I'm going to tell us, we can do this. We're getting our momentum. We are heading in the right direction. We have the resources, we have the tools, they're all in our community. All we really need to do is I can't say all we really need to do is, because that's to minimize the undertaking of dealing with a situation you don't want to face, because it's scary. Stuff that I deal with is just scary. You don't want to deal with divorce, but if you know something's not going right and you want to kind of see what things might look like, take action, get a consultation. They're closing in, you're getting served foreclosure notice on the house. It's scary. So, hopefully I'm not scary and you could just pick up the phone and call me. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in to the Carmiece Graves Radio Show. I'm attorney CPA Carmiece T. Graves, practicing family law, estate planning, bankruptcy, and now I'm jumping in the ring, guys. I got to bring tax. I got to face it. I got to really, as a CPA, my challenge has been having these two skill sets as a hybrid. It's like, which one do I want to do? Estate planning, do I want to do bankruptcy? Because money is all around. It's really the bedrock of a lot of these practice areas. And tax is always, you need really good tax planning. You really need good tax planning to make sure you do not get into the grips of the IRS and file a weak return. So I want to make sure, because I just don't want to survive it. I want my colleagues to survive too. I want y'all to have, good tax planning, someone that really knows how to do this thing, that will really make sure that you have an audit-proof return, that if the IRS come knocking, they're not disappearing, they're not can't support their work, and make sure that you have gotten all the deductions that you need. So that's going to come up. I'm going to post something on the website. I'm going to really do it. I really am. I'm going to make it. I'll be like this, check the website, guys, but I'm going to do better. I'm a work in progress. So back to this topic. So where are we? We got Black History Month. We got Valentine's Day. Let me tell y'all, I didn't even watch the Super Bowl. This is the first year in my whole life that I can remember myself. I'm sure there are other years in my infancy, whatever, you know what I mean. But as far as I can remember myself, I did, I've always watched the Super Bowl, even with everything that was going on, even when I had not been watching the seasons, I've been on boycott. I was like, but, we're going to put politics aside right now. I'm watching the Super Bowl. But yesterday I didn't. I just didn't. I chose not to. And it's weird that my life just kind of went along its own path as if it's not happening. I thought that was really interesting that you can choose. It shows how much power you have, that you create your environment, you make choices, you create, and you got to really create a healthy space to nurture wealth. Wealth is a state of being. You have to have wealth in your body, in your mind, in your heart. It has to be consistent without. It has to be within, without. And sometimes, falling back, making adjustments, the path of least resistance. If that's, calling it quits, automatic stay is a path of least resistance. If you need it, pull it. If it's something that you want to find more information about, pick up the phone, call me. Active self-love. Out there now, look. All right, because you guys know I do family law. To my family law folks, can you just, it's Black History, let's do Black Family Love Month. Let's call this Black Family Love Month. Let's call it Black Family Love Month. Do something extra special for the kids, the parents. Try extra hard to get along. Let's do that. Let's have something great happen. Let's have great displays of self-love. Do something nice for yourself. Get on especially if you're single. Please do not wait till February 14th and be up there with crazy posts on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. No, take action. Plan your day. Love yourself. You're worthy. Treat yourself good. Take yourself out. Buy yourself something. You know what I mean? Go stage a bad picture and have a Facebook frenzy. Go to one of them boudoirs and then set yourself up, be taking them bad pictures, girl. Post them up. Let them know what they missing. Do something positive is what I'm saying. So let's not let these secular events define who we are, and whether you got this status or that status, whether you're single, engaged, married, divorced. Don't let any of these like labels kind of define your value, because that's going to impact your money. Y'all know it's going to bring around to the dollars now. Oh boy, I'm telling you, he's still working on me. No. But no, really, because they do say that you're, how you deal with yourself is whether you determine whether you deserve to have an easy path, whether you deserve for it to come to you easy, whether that's love, money, health. You deserve that. Make sure you're choosing that. Let's go on a campaign of no complaining. Can you detox from complaining? How long can you go? Maybe we should try and have a complaintless campaign. No negativity. See what happens. I'm telling you, that'll swell up your life with some goodness immediately, because you kind of be detoxing from those things, and they sit in your life. How you feel about how secure you feel, they say really reflects in your savings, how much savings you allow, how secure you feel in your environment is mapped to savings, how worrisome you are about money. There's debts, that's shame, that's guilt and debts. I mean, we can talk more about it. It always has an emotional, holistic base to everything that we talk about. So it doesn't matter if you're going for the love or you're going for the money. You're going to have to go through you. Okay? It's emanating from you. So getting ourselves in a healthy mind state and space, and getting rid of worry, doubt, and fear if you need it. If you need some relief from debts, from situations regarding, marriages, family planning for ones that have passed away, and you need help with that, that's what the Carmiece Graves Law Firm deals with. So you can call me, 240-573-7153. You can like my page on Facebook and share my video, and you guys call me. You guys are calling. Thanks so much. I ask, you think I listen. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm glad that we are anything that I can add. So enjoy this month of February. Please do not say that. Please, I think we're advanced enough that I wouldn't hear anyone saying that we got the shortest month and why. Please don't ever say that. And if you don't know the reason why, you should Google it and figure out the reason why February is Black History Month. But I know this listenership is all over that. That's peanuts. We know that. So celebrate it. Do something nice for yourself. Celebrate the month of love. Celebrate the month of Black self-love for all humanity, and not just Black people. Everybody love themselves. Be nice to one another. Take a step. Start thinking about next month. We're going to get heavy into taxes. Talk more about that. This month, if there's anything that you need in terms of relief, have some compassion for yourself, love yourself, do something nice, get some peace of mind, because you can't be loving if you're stressed out. You're not a good partner to yourself or anyone else if you are worried sick about your finances. If someone's digging in your pocket and said messed up your your financial plan, or they're threatening to take your property, there's no way you're sleeping well. There's no way you're going to have a good Valentine's Day, because you're just not in a good space, because your very existence is being threatened. And let's get that under control. Get it under control. Triage it. Let's stop the bleeding, come up with a plan, get some healing, move forward. And as I say it, it would be, a thought-out plan, in terms of a debt resolution, whether that's bankruptcy, whatever we come up with. But it also, you can see, that's a time for you to take that piece to really just get your momentum going in another direction in terms of having some appreciation about life, getting, detoxing from complaining, blaming, and shaming. Get rid of that. That would really do your life. That would take some of the bricks out of your hot air balloon and get you elevating. You know what I mean? Throw some of them bricks off. The negativity and the complaining, it really matters. And if you look up, the attributes and attitudes of people that are doing well and successful, you're going to see that a lot of these principles hold true, because they matter. It's all about good vibrational energy. And if something's awry, something's screwy, let's not stick our head in the sand about it, but let's take action, do something nice for yourself, pick up the phone and call me. That's a lovely experience. So, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that, because sometimes people aren't clear, especially if we come up with a plan that involves bankruptcy, estate planning. You're dealing with me. You know what I mean? For the most part of, this is not court where we're dealing with a civil litigation and family law where there's going to be some instances where we're going before the judge. Here, more so, most of that experience is dealing with me, the attorney, getting information, working on your petition, correspondence between, the trustee comes through me, and we, we'll go to a 341 meeting of the creditors where, for the most part, we'll be there with the trustee just for a few minutes. So that's one of the things you have to know about the process, that it's a big thing in your head. There's a lot of guilt and shame and blame, and it's a big monster in your head, but in reality, it's an action to take. You got to take it. If you need the leap, take the leap, have courage, pick up the phone. It's really just pick up the phone and calling me. You guys know how to reach me. 240-573-7153. Let's not be presumptuous. But anyway, that is one of the practical things I wanted to share with you about the process. That it's mainly a lot of administration. It's a big petition that we work, a petition meaning an application kind of, and it's good 50 pages long of a lot of questions and information, a lot of data gathering that we work together to to put it in and file with the court, and we then meet with the trustee who examines the petition. And, for veracity, wants to make sure you're telling the truth, make sure it's been fully disclosed. And once you go through that and make sure it makes sense, and that's one of the, the beauties that I have is being, an accountant, just being able to tell your life story in financial form. That's what a financial statement does. And we're going to continue this conversation about wealth, and let's talk about what that looks like. We're talking wealth as assets and liabilities. Mm-hmm. Income is just income. It ain't even net income. It ain't even income minus expenses. It's such a big thing. That's only income minus expenses is only one line item that flows over to wealth. Where's the rest of our stuff? What else we got? So we're going to talk more about that coming up in the Carmiece Graves radio show next week. Girl will be in court. So I'm going to find a wonderful show to air that was very informative to share with you until I return. So thanks so much for tuning in to the Carmiece Graves radio show. Hopefully something here was helpful, useful, informative. And if not, I'll try again. But I know that it was. So send you guys positive energy, good fortune, God's blessings, and Godspeed. I like that one. I love Godspeed. I just ran into that one recently, last 10 years or so. But anyway, I'm signing off. This is the Carmiece Graves radio show. Thanks so much. Share my video. Pieces.
You've been listening to the Carmiece Graves Show with attorney Carmiece Graves. To reach Attorney Graves, please call 240-573-7153. That's 240-573-7153. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 10 a.m. right here on WOL 1450 AM, where information is power.
Good morning.